Welcome to From Chaos to Peace with Conny. My name is Conny Graf and I am your host. I'm here to explore with you, often solo and sometimes with a guest, how a few minutes a day can keep the chaos away. And with chaos, I'm talking about the physical, digital, social, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual clutter that can accumulate in our life and business. In every episode, I want to make you aware how clutter is so much more than you think and why I say that clearing your clutter is self-love. Well, hello, my friend. Welcome to the podcast. This is episode number 176. Thank you so much for allowing me back into your ears. And please subscribe and follow this podcast if you haven't done so yet. This way, you never miss an episode and you can share your favorite episode with your family and friends, because if you find value in it, they will too. So today I want to continue with another quick way on how to reduce financial chaos in your business finances and in your personal finances. Again, I will make this short so it's not overwhelming and I make it actionable. This is tip number 2 in the series, and if you haven't listened to the first tip yet, no worries, you can just go back to episode number 175 and listen to it after you listen to this one. I will give you a quick summary of what tip number 1 was, but maybe it is helpful to go and listen to the whole episode after you listen to this one. So again, starting to reduce your financial clutter and chaos can be overwhelming because all our money decisions and indecisions and our financial chaos is fueled by our emotions. But just like with anything, you can start very small, tiny even if needed, but you do need to start. It doesn't help to stick the head in the sand. The tips I'm sharing here with you are very, very simple and easy to do. They're not groundbreaking, but you do have to do them. Okay, so this brings me now to the first tip that I gave you last week, which is to every time you make a sale and collect sales tax for your province or your state or your country, anyways, to take that part of the sale, that part of the money, the sales tax part, and put it in a separate account. This is not your money. You were just required to collect it on behalf of your government. So never look at it as your money. And best is really to put it in a separate account, knowing that it is not your money. So that was tip number 1. And if you want to hear more details about that, you go back to episode number 175. Now let's move on to tip number 2, which is just as boring and not exciting, just like tip number 1, because these tips are not groundbreaking or mind-blowing. But what is mind-blowing to me is that so many people are not doing it. They are not doing the most simple things to make their life easier and to prevent financial chaos. And as a result, one of the most emotional times during the year that relates to finances is tax time, which we just had in April for the US and Canada. In other countries, it might be a different month, but either way, every year is tax time. No surprise here. And I saw a post on Instagram during tax time that I just can't get out of my head anymore. And this person had, I think, a retail business, and they had this image up or this meme up that said something along the line of title April 2023, and then first line revenue in cash $2,000, second line revenue from credit cards $3,000. The third line said sending taxes to IRS minus $10,000, loss for the month minus $5,000 or something along that line. I really don't remember 100% and I can't find the post anymore, but it makes me really cringe. And that's probably also why it still occupies my mind. Again, when you have a business, you don't need to become an accountant or bookkeeper, but you do have to understand your numbers a little bit. And you need to understand the difference between cash flow, so the money that comes in and the money that flows out, and revenue and profit. So the first thing I would say to this person is this is not a loss for the month of April, but it is a negative cash flow, which is different. And this is not just accountant speak here. It's really important that you understand this, especially when you have a business, because a negative cash flow for 1 month doesn't mean you have a loss for that month. You can still have a profit for that month while having a negative cash flow. And a negative cash flow means more money left your hands or your bank account than money that came in. But if you know this in advance, and since taxes are never a surprise ever, you can plan for it, just like for the sales taxes we were talking about in tip number 1. So the easiest way of reducing financial chaos in your business and unbelievable stress and sleepless nights in your life is to set a portion, a percentage aside from each sale you make in your business. But unlike the sales taxes, you unfortunately don't know the exact amount that you have to put aside from each sale. But you could just start with 10 or 15% of each and every single sale and put that part aside into a separate bank account or not. It depends on your discipline, but put it aside so that when tax time comes around and you will have to pay your big tax bill, the money is already there. Nobody likes to pay taxes, me included. But whatever we can do to reduce the stress, we are obligated to do, not for the government and not for someone else, but for ourselves and for our business. So again, tip 1 was put aside the sales tax part of each sale into a separate bank account because this is not your money anyways. And then tip 2, take another percentage of that sale, of each and every single sale that you make, and take, let's say, 10 or 15% and put it into a separate bank account so that when you get your tax bill, you have the money sitting there and ready. Ideally, you have more money sitting in that bank account than you need when the tax bill is coming. But even if you don't have the full amount, it will be so much easier to pay the tax bill. You have the majority of the money sitting there. You just have to add what is missing in your account, and then you adjust that percentage that you put aside from every sale for the future. So then next time you really have enough, or ideally even a little bit too much. Again, these tips are not groundbreaking or mind-blowing, but unless you do it, you will keep struggling with your financial chaos. So please, please, please go put these 2 really, really simple and tiny steps into action. You can start today. Don't worry that we're already in May. Just start today and set aside money, the sales tax money from every sale you're making, that clearly isn't your money anyways, and then a portion for your taxes, 10 or 15%, or you could also ask your accountant how much you should put aside. But I think if you start with 10 or 15%, you're already ahead of most of people. So this was tip number 2, and I actually do this in with my private finances and in my private life too. They are, of course, a bit different because I don't have sales. But I talk about how I do this next time when I give you tip number 3. So stay tuned and subscribe so you don't miss that episode. And please remember, reducing chaos is self-love and self-care. And if you struggle with chaos in your finances or chaos in your home office or chaos in your files, and you know you need to make a change, but you don't seem to be able to do it on your own, contact me because I can help. You can bring your chaos to me. I will be on your team, on your side. I will help you face your chaos, and together we will figure out what's the best thing for you to do for a few minutes a day to keep your chaos away and to get organized and in control in your home, office, files, and finances. You can message me on Instagram. My handle is I am Conny Graf, or you can sign up for a complimentary Chaos to Peace session, and the link to book such a session you find in the show notes. Okay, my friend, that's it for this week. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. If you love my podcast, you can really help me by going to Apple Podcast and write an honest review. This will help that more people find this podcast and can move from chaos to peace in their life and business. Have a beautiful and amazing week. Talk to you next time. Take good care and be safe. If you enjoyed this podcast episode and you want to go on a journey from chaos to peace in your home, office, and finances with me as your guide, opportunities to work with me one-on-one are available. Go to connygraf.com, CONNYGRAF.com to schedule your own personal Clutter to Clarity chat. And we will see if working together is a great fit. That is connygraf.com, CONNYGRAF.com.